Hello, my name is Thomas Velvin, and today I will be doing my individual presentation. I would like to start off by saying all the information that will be presented in my presentation is completely credited to Professor Zenyan and all of the chapter slides that she had included in the Blackboard website. I'll just start off by saying relationships. They are important in any situation. A professor and their students, a coach and their team, an employer and their employees. Having good relationships is important for any situation to be successful. Having healthy relationships, trust, uh, being cooperative between all groups. It's important for a team for that situation to be successful. If you don't have any of that, then obviously you won't be successful, and there's no room for growth. In order to be successful, you need to have a healthy relationship and a healthy attitude towards any situation. And that kind of goes along with organizational behavior, which is something that we've been talking about the entire semester. It's defined as the study of individuals and their behaviors at work. There's so many topics, again, that we've talked about throughout this entire semester, but one that I really felt was important to me, and really an important one in general, just to understand the idea of, is attitude. And I'll be talking to you about why it's important to me and why it's important for you to really understand what it is. To start off, attitude is defined as a psychological tendency expressed by evaluating a particular entity with some degree of favor or disfavor. Attitude really comes down to three components, and we call them the ABCs. It's affective, behavioral, and cognitive. So attitude is really created by these three things. First one being affective, evaluative, mood, and feelings. So say a certain situation happens that doesn't go your way. A mood or a feeling is created or generated based off that situation. You're either sad or mad, or if something goes your way, you're happy, you're excited. In any situation, a mood is created, which then leads to an attitude towards that certain dilemma or whatever it may be. Behavioral. Again, if something does not go your way in a certain situation, you may act in disfavor of that specific situation, doing something that you may not want to do, but you just feel like you had to just because of your attitude towards this situation. Or again, if it goes in your favor, you give somebody a compliment because of that situation, or you do something in a positive manner. And thirdly, cognitive, beliefs and expectations. A situation happens, doesn't go your way. Maybe you expected it to go a certain way and it went completely flip of what you thought. You create an attitude based off of your expectations. How you expected you to react, you do something different. It's kind of complicated, but simple at the same time. Its attitude can be this very simple idea, but it's really complex when you break it down into three different things: affective, behavioral, and cognitive. So you'll have to try to figure out which one is being affected based on the situation at hand. Some examples of attitude that goes along with organizational behavior. Job satisfaction, which is defined as a pleasurable or positive emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job or job experience. Obviously, if you're satisfied in a job, you don't want to leave. You want to stay. You're happy with the situation that you're in, and there are certain examples that would make you want to stay, make you satisfied in a job or in a current position that you're in. Pay, promotions, healthy relationships with coworkers. I mean, if you're being paid and you're being paid to do your job and you're doing well at it, they're going to pay you more money. If you're doing well in your job and you deserve a promotion, they will promote you. Having healthy relationship with your coworkers. I mean, if all these things are going your way, then obviously you'll be satisfied and there'll be no reason to leave. You'll just want to keep growing with the company that you're with. But on the flip side, there's job dissatisfaction. Obviously, when an employee is not satisfied with their job or current position. And we've kind of categorized this into this diagram. Credit to Professor Zen Yang. So we have 4 sides: active, passive, constructive, and destructive. And there's 4 different categories based off of those sides, I guess. So active and destructive. One being exit. Say you're not happy with the situation, you don't feel like trying to work it out with the company, so you just decide to leave. You'd much rather just start a whole new part of your life in a different situation and completely cut yourself out of that toxic situation that you're in. Passive and destructive. Neglect. You realize that there is a problem at hand. You realize that something is wrong with the company, but you don't exactly know what to do about it. So you just push it to the side. You neglect it. You decide not to do anything about it, hoping that something will work out. Then there's, on the constructive side, passive and constructive, is loyalty. You know that something's wrong. You're dissatisfied with your current position, but you're loyal to the company. You're hoping that it will eventually work out in the end, so you decide to stay. Hoping that with your healthy relationships, maybe you can grow as a company and try to figure this thing out. And on the flip side of that, you have active and constructive. You voice your opinion. You make it very verbal to both the management and your other employees that something is not working with me or with someone else. We have to figure this out. If we want to find any sort of success, we have to talk about it as a group. We have to find different ideas, talk about our opinions, and try to figure something out if we want to find any success in this. So obviously, based on the situation, based on your own personality, people will have different reactions, but it's important to recognize the different types of reactions to job satisfaction that are out there. The last example is organizational commitment, which is a psychological state that describes an employee's relationship with their organization and a propensity to continue the relationship. Sorry, I totally just mispronounced that word. There's 3 categories: effective, continuance, and normative. So effective, you have an emotional attachment to the company. Maybe you have family, maybe you have friends, maybe you have your significant other in the company, and so you feel like you have an emotional attachment to stay with this company. It doesn't matter about the pay, it doesn't matter about anything else, but you feel like that's your family. You feel like you don't want to go anywhere else because you love where you're working and you just feel attached, again, just emotionally. Continuance, the cost of leaving, like in economic terms, what is the opportunity cost of leaving this situation? If I leave, am I going to get paid more, or am I going to be put into a worse situation and like not make as much money? Or I do make as much more money, but the relationships between employers and employees are not as healthy. So you have to try to figure out what's the cost of leaving, and so what's the cost of continuing with the company or leaving. And normative, the moral obligation to stay. Maybe you feel that it is my job, it is my duty in life to stay with this company and ride this thing out. Even if it gets tough, it's a bumpy road, it's a business. Things are going to go up and down, but you want to stay here. You feel it is your job to stay here and figure this thing out to the very end. And to really wrap it all up, a story with how I feel I connect to attitude. I was raised in Manhattan Beach, California, and on the pier in Manhattan Beach, they have an aquarium called the Roundhouse Manhattan Beach Aquarium. I volunteered there for several years. Obviously, it's a volunteering job, so you're not getting paid, but I built great relations with all of my other volunteers or the management that was there. Obviously, this was in my middle school days, so I wasn't really thinking about money. I was obviously, some people were starting to get jobs in that situation, but the employers loved the work that I was doing. They were happy that I was enjoying my time there, that I was building great relationships with my coworkers, but also people that were coming in to visit the aquarium were talking to management about me because I was doing such a good job. I had such a bright face. I was having a really like people wanted to come in because they looked like it's a great place to be, because I just made that atmosphere an exciting one. I made it people want to come to the aquarium. And so obviously I could go somewhere else. I could go find a job, try to get paid, but I enjoyed that they recognized that I enjoyed what I was doing. So they promoted me to like head of the volunteers. But just that little recognition that I got was convincing and didn't was it convincing enough for me to stay in this position while others are getting paid. Again, I wasn't thinking about the money. I was just enjoying being in a situation where I was being praised for the job that I was doing. And so just having a good attitude between me and my other employers and the management totally paid off, because now I'm good. I have long connections with them, and it was very much worth it just to have that good attitude and relationship with them. So to conclude all of this, it is the importance of organizational behavior in all of businesses and corporations. I said this before, but having a good attitude, having a good relationship with everyone around you is so key to success in any situation. Having toxic environments can really put a stamp on any sort of success that you want to have. So it's really important, again, to just have a healthy relationship between any situation and all the people around you. Attitude. Obviously, we talked about a lot of different aspects of attitude, whether it's job satisfaction, dissatisfaction, and just attitude in general with the ABCs. It's important to just remember what those are and try to apply them in your everyday life, because it will really have a great effect, a lot more than you think. So again, I thank you for listening to my individual presentation about attitude, and I will see you later.